This is the Second Chance at Health podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Brad Hassig. Come join me as we remove confusion from the hottest health topics by discussing the latest research, along with what we've seen with thousands of our patients and amongst our community, family, friends, and people all over the nation and world. Let's dig in. Hey, this is Dr. Brad Hassig with the Second Chance at Health podcast. Today's episode number 28 is leaving a legacy. And this is a topic that I'm really kind of excited to discuss. There's been a lot of different things that, you experience in your life, moments that come up. And I wanted to discuss the different areas of your life where you leave a legacy. Now, first and foremost, most people obviously think of a financial legacy. And obviously that's very important. The Lord blesses us with certain abilities, and it's our job to work hard and to provide well. I think sometimes though it can, for some people, it can become the focus and it can become the sole thing. You're going to gravitate to wherever your most focus is. And sometimes people can lose perspective on that and go too far in that direction and miss out on those other relationships, those other areas that you're leaving a legacy. When you get to the end, you can't take it with you. And you're going to have family, relationships, faith, different areas. So that's something that I wanted to discuss today. In Proverbs 3, 1 verse 2, it says, "My son, do not forget my teaching, but keep my commands in your heart, for they will prolong your life many years and bring you peace and prosperity." And I think that's just a wonderful verse to discuss the teachings, like I said, not just from a financial standpoint, but in all facets of your life. And so that's what we're going to be going over, those different areas. I'll share some personal stories, things that I've had, great memories. This makes me happy. As I'm doing this is for anyone that's listening, but it's also, it's a great reminder of me to go back and think about different people that have impacted my life. And hopefully that's literally part of the legacy is sharing what they've taught me. And so even, whether somebody's still with us or somebody's passed, it's something that, hopefully you can get something, from these people that, you may have never even met before. So, as I mentioned, faith is the foundation. When you look at things, I've heard it described when you're looking at almost like spokes on a wheel, and you look at, faith, family, friends, fitness or health, financial, those different areas. And if you put too much time into just one area, that area would be almost, like a bike tire. It would kind of blow out in that area. Or if you've got an area that you're completely neglecting, let's say you're neglecting your health, you're doing great in all those other areas, you completely neglect your health. Well, at a certain point, you can lose your health. And then you're not going to be able to experience any of those other areas. So you really need to take care of those. It's like anything else in life. It's never going to be perfect. It's never going to be completely balanced. But the area that we should obviously start and put a lot of our focus on is with faith. And faith should be intertwined in all of these other areas. Faith should be the foundation for a reason. And anytime in any one of those other facets that I'm struggling in, or there's a challenge, faith, turn that over to God, turn that over to prayer. That's part of in the faith area. I learned that from my parents. That was a time, if we're having a challenge, that was something, pray about it. Going to church but turning it over to God and realizing that it's not just our battle to fight on our own. It's not just our victory. But it's also when we're struggling, that's the time to turn that over to God and ask for wisdom, pray for wisdom, and He'll give it to us. It may not always be what we want, but it'll be what we need. And so, I love, in that area, my parents got me started in church, my mom played the piano in the choir, and my dad was very involved, all different types of, different little groups and committees and things like that. And it was just modeled the consistency that faith it was absolutely a foundation for us. It wasn't, hey, are we going to church? We were going, and we were going to help. I remember different times picking up different people to take them, elderly people, taking them to church and things. So that servant's heart, that was absolutely modeled by both of my parents, and I think they got that from their parents as well. It's just I remember my grandparents, especially my grandmothers. I remember them. I knew them, I guess, better than my grandfathers, but one I never met, but. That still leaves a legacy, and you see that in their children, my parents, and then hopefully I'm passing that on now to my children, and so on and so on. So, that's faith is such an important thing, and I've seen that more and more, especially recently, and I think it's being involved in church, in small groups. That you turn everything over, every facet, anything that I was holding on to, and it's usually out of fear. You're trying to control a situation, and control is an illusion. So turn whatever that is, whatever that fear is, that's the thing you most need to turn over. And I think that's where faith is going to come in. So prayer is important. Pray over every single one of these facets as we go over these. Lead by example. Lead your families. I love, grab your kids and pray with them. The other thing is have them pray for you. Even as soon as children are old enough to kind of grasp it, you've been praying with them. You've been praying for them in all different areas. It doesn't just have to be nighttime prayers. Those are wonderful. It's a beautiful time. And maybe they've got a test coming up, or they just had something great happen. Hey, this is a time. Let's stop and give praise. Let's say a prayer and thank God for what He's done for us. Thank Him for His blessings. And you model that. But then it's one of the most amazing things is to ask your children to pray for you. And, we've done that. I've seen that. I've seen them grow in their faith. And just to have your whole family praying together and praying over you, you're modeling that behavior. That's legacy. That's legacy. So that's something I encourage. Pray with your family, pray with your kids, pray for your kids, and have your kids pray for you. So then the next relationship that we're going to get into is family and relational legacies, and, talk about kind of how our parents, how they model love for us, and respect and integrity and honor and kindness. I mean, that's my parents. I was extremely, extremely blessed. Still am. My mom's still with me. Lost dad last year, but just that servant's heart and that kindness, that willingness to do, anything for others. They both love to help others and serve others. And you could see that it was genuine. It wasn't to get credit. It wasn't to be on a board or to financial reward. They weren't seeking a reward. And that was, that's just amazing. It was like they both got a double dose of it. And so that's something, I've tried to carry on. And, it's just even in their marriage, the respect that my father had for my mom, and for their marriage, the way he would treat her, the way that he would talk to her, the way that he would make sure that I talked to her and didn't talk to her, that was modeled. And, I know that he got that from his parents, from my mom, the way to watch her father, the way that, he would treat, her mom, and same thing, what a woman's going to accept, what they're going to see is this is the acceptable and this is the expected behavior. And so that was passed on from their parents. My parents, I saw that, and I'm hoping that I'm passing that on as well. So, also in relationships, the way that you're wanting to spend time together. There's a lot of time constraints anymore. Everyone's so busy, and it's in our family. Family comes first. Friends are great and relationships are great. We want you to have those, but family comes first. And so whether it was cross country camping trips that I took with my family that were amazing, stuck in the backseat of the car with my sister, who I love, and very close to. We probably had some verbal, engagements while we were traveling the country, but it was still, there was love there. And building of that relationship and respect and honoring that. So encourage you all to find ways to do that, but always to show them that family comes first. The next one is going to be health and wellness. And this is another, a lot of times people don't think about this in terms of leaving a legacy. I will tell you, in terms of my mom's the reason, or one of the reasons, I guess, that I'm a chiropractor. I also have to give a shout out to my fraternity brothers, Eric and Troy Bisher. They were the ones. Eric, got me talking about their dad, Dr. Bisher. Started talking to me about that when I was in school, and didn't really that wasn't even on the radar. Once I found out what it was, the natural health, I was in. My mom, introduced me to a chiropractor there in there, Dr. Victor Fitch in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Introduced me to him, had the opportunity to kind of learn more about what that was. My mom would take me to health food stores. I remember the smells and the breads and all the vitamins, lecithin and vitamin C and all these things, getting a multivitamin. So she started my love and passion for nutrition, all things nutrition and vitamins and supplements. So I got to thank you for that, Mom. My dad got me started on exercise, and that was whether it was doing push-ups, having a little push-up contest with him. He was a military man, served in the Air Force, and so that was something that was important to him. Pull-ups, he ran almost every day. In the winter when he couldn't, he had one of the little trampoline exercisers and would jog on that. I'd hear it, keep me up at night, or keep me up in the morning and wake me up. I'd hear that going. I could still hear it right now. Brings a smile to my face. Didn't smile as much then, but I could hear it. It was the habit of doing that, and it was just to go out and to run, and that's something I remember running my first 5K and 10K with him, when I was a kid, and I just wanted to hang out and be like Dad and go run and get my little race number. And so he started that. He started that habit, which was amazing. And then you can see the impact of this. Here, I wanted to become a chiropractor because I wanted to help other people with health and learn so much. And so then the exercise, my dad got me started with running. I ended up running a couple marathons, and that's, I wouldn't have got started with that if that hadn't been for my dad. And then here to do functional nutrition and help people on lab testing and stuff that I do to help so many patients. A lot of that started with my mom. That started that passion for that. Very few chiropractors have that much interest in it. But that she definitely started that. So pass that on. I remember too, I was having this discussion serving in correctional ministry, in the juvenile facility, yesterday. And, one of the boys was having a tough morning, and there's times where they have to restrain the boys for behavior that's not acceptable. And so one of the staff members was sharing, hey, I was speaking, I was opening in prayer, and he was misbehaving. I kind of tried to tune it out. She was apologizing for that. And, one of my questions to ask though was, I said, have you ever noticed, if they have red food dye, if they're having red Doritos or barbecue chips or the Takis, something with red in it, or yellow, but especially red food dyes. Have you ever noticed any behavioral changes? Because we've seen that. I remember seeing that with my sister when I was young. She had that. I've seen that in one of our boys, to see some of that behavior. And so I asked about that, and she said, he had, and I can't remember what she said he'd eat. And she said, I'm going to start paying attention to that. And so once again, here, this is a situation where we're serving the Lord, trying to do this, but you're bringing in a healthcare lesson. And my mom and dad had learned that in the 70s, the stuff with going through, especially my mom learning with red food dyes. So if you're seeing some of the, hyperactivity, ADHD, all the stuff they call now, and there's a lot of reasons for all this, check that out. And that's something I learned that, a health nugget there from mom years and years ago. So this stuff goes on. People, when you're taking care of your health and fitness and getting in shape and losing weight, it's never too late. It's never too late to get healthy. I guess if you're 90 and you're on your deathbed, it's too late. But up until that point, and the other thing is, you're going to model that for your family. You're going to show that behavior. This is what we do in this family. And you may change, whether it's weight loss, whether it's type 2 diabetes, may even be cancer, heart disease, things like that. By making a change, and it's not easy, but people are going to see that and see that you've made this change. You were willing to do this, willing to put in that effort. You're leaving a legacy of health in your family, which I think is so incredible. You've seen over the last few years, people are asking more questions. People are looking for their own answers instead of just doing what they're being told, seeing a drug commercial or going along with, what somebody that may not have their best interest in mind. There may be a financial interest for giving certain recommendations. People are asking questions and saying, is this the best thing for me? Is this the most natural? Is this the way that God designed my body to work? And once again, these things all tie together. These legacies all tie together. Is pray on this. If you have doubts, hey, should I be eating this? I wonder if I should follow this diet. Should I listen to this guru? Should I go to this trainer? This doctor's telling me this, and that doesn't sound healthy to put a radioactive material in my body just to do a scan. Is there an alternative? Is there a healthier way to do this? Pray on it. The wisdom that you're going to gain from that is something that you're going to pass on. And that's part of what legacy is as well. So, hopefully you can see with this, there's so many different facets. Like I said, people think of legacy, they think of financial. And like I said, that is absolutely one of the areas. Whatever your chosen field is, work as hard as you can, make as much as you honestly can. And I hope you make more than you need so you can bless others beyond what they even know they need. And that's the goal. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's what God wants for us. Pray on it. Pray on all these different facets of life. Your faith, your family, your friends and relationships, your fitness, your health, and your finances. All of these areas, pray over them. Ask for God to step in, to take control. Turn it all over to God. But think about the legacy. This isn't just for you. This isn't just for your family right now. Look at grandkids, great grandkids. You're creating this amazing legacy. You're affecting other lives. Other people are going to see this. You're affecting their family. The way that this ripple can have an effect. There's a lot of negative. This is spiritual warfare that we're in. And we're going to win. Good triumphs. So we need all of you that are full of faith and that are looking for solutions. Not the easy way, not the quick fix, but you're looking for the healthy way, the God designed way to leave a legacy in all of these different areas. So I hope you've learned a lot from this. I ask right now while you're doing this, hit the like button, share it, leave comments. Let me know, give me an example. I'd love in the comments, leave me an example of one of these areas of a legacy that you've had in your family and maybe something that you feel like that you've either left or that you're leaving for your family, or maybe an area that you're like, I want to work on this. Leave some comments. I want to hear what you have to say, areas that you're working on, and let's all work together to impact as many lives as we can, to leave this legacy to God's glory. Have a great one.